How's everybody doing today? This is the Chase Carter Concept Podcast. It is June 2nd, Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, and I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about a lot of serious things, mostly sports and video games, but I want to kick off the podcast with what's been going on in the world. Everyone's been talking about it, and that's the return of sports. With the riots and the race issues that's been going on in the country, or in the world, I should say. It's not a country problem, it's a global problem. I haven't had time to form an opinion on it. There's so many different, it's not just a two-sided issue, because obviously I don't think I should need to say this, but racism is terrible and awful, and we need to get rid of it. It should go without saying. So I don't understand that. I don't understand all of these companies releasing statements saying we stand with our black community. You should have been standing. You should have been standing with them. You should stand with anybody who's being discriminated against. It seems too convenient, I think, to have all these statements, and I do understand the need to for the black community. Maybe they don't feel that they're being supported, and so it's good to hear the support from all these companies. But in the end of the day, doesn't it feel like when the loudest person is against something is usually doing that same thing? It's like whenever you hear about these preachers, the most homophobic ones are the ones going out and picking up men on the street corner, male prostitutes, and then they get caught doing that. It seems like the people who are most against whatever they're saying they're against are the ones perpetrating. So whenever I see someone being loud and extra nice and really supportive, I'm like, what are you up to? What is your real motivation here? And I don't get, there's something going on today with posting an all blackout picture, and I don't understand that, because we need people to post things about what's going on in the world. We don't need people. That's basically silencing yourselves, posting nothing. So we're all posting nothing. Granted, all the stuff that's on Instagram and Twitter is really nothing to begin with. So basically, and I thought of a funny, some guy gets on Instagram today trying to find his, favorite Instagram booty model, and sees a black picture and gets mad. And this is the only time he got mad about this whole thing. It's the only time it affected his life. The whole, I don't get it. There was yesterday I tried to go to Target to get some turkey meat, because my girlfriend ate all the turkey, ate all of it. She left me 4 slices of turkey. Granted, I used like 5 or 6 for a sandwich, but I wanted 2 sandwiches. So I walked down to Target. Target was closed. So that was great. And I thought, how, with everything going on, how all of this garbage and the way people treat each other affects a bunch of people every single day. And the only way I felt very, I always feel appreciative of the life that I've had. I've had rough times and good times, but the worst part of my week was Target was closed and I couldn't get any sliced turkey. And by the way, another store was open, and I just walked an extra 2 or 3 blocks, got the turkey, and had an amazing two amazing turkey sandwiches. This is what you got to eat. Mayonnaise. You got to have my girlfriend puts pickles and mustard on her turkey sandwiches. Wrong. That's what you don't do. Instead of lettuce, I put spinach. You get obviously 2 pieces of bread, mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, either one. Put it on there. Then you get the spinach leaves, and you spread them out on the sandwich. You spread them out. One layer of spinach, then you put a piece of cheese. Then you fold up a piece of turkey, put it on top. Fold up another piece of turkey, put it on the left. Another one for the right. Another one for the bottom. Then you put one flat across, and then you put and on your other piece of bread you have the spinach layer, and then another piece of cheese, and you just put it on top. Best turkey sandwich ever. This crazy person, my girlfriend, she puts mustard, and mustard overpowers every other condiment on said object. And you don't taste anything else, you taste the mustard. It's disgusting. The main part of the thing should be the meat or the cheese. It shouldn't be the condiment. I can hardly even take, I took a bite out of a burger that had mustard on it. I didn't even know that there was bread in it. I didn't know that there was meat in it, lettuce, tomatoes. All I tasted was god-awful mustard. We should get mustard out of our community, just as a whole other side note. And pickles for sure. Ugh. But I see all these people, it's like they're placating. It's like they're saying, look how wholesome I am. I saw a group of white people kneeling down in front of black people apologizing. And it's like, well, if you didn't do anything wrong, what are you apologizing for? If you've been taking advantage of certain situations, like that white girl calling the cops on the black guy, and then this was like your awakening, like, hey, I shouldn't be a piece of shit, then yeah, apologize. But for me, I don't feel like I need to apologize because I haven't done anything racist towards anybody. So if you're not a piece of shit, what are you apologizing for? You didn't and these are just normal people who have nothing to do really with the system. And you can say they benefit from the system, but is that their fault? That they were randomly born white? But yeah, if they're consciously taking advantage of the situation, then yes, they're pieces of shit and they should apologize. But if they're normal, good human beings, what are you apologizing for? You didn't do anything wrong. You've done nothing wrong. And it's insane. It's insane that you should feel bad for being a certain color. It was, and then they say, it's like America has bred racism. Like racism has been a part of human beings since the beginning of time. It's called tribalism. Whatever I am is awesome, and whatever you are isn't, because you're different than me. But when in reality, everybody's differences make everybody better. Everybody's differences is what makes people interesting. Do you know how boring it would be if everybody was the same, looked the same? Are you kidding me? I grew up in a Christian school, and most of the people there were white. It was so boring. I started going to public school, seeing all the Mexicans, seeing all the black girls. Oh my God. Everybody. They were so much more attractive to me than everything else, because the normalcy of it is boring. If everybody was the same, and people don't see I can't make myself understand how someone can see somebody different and be put off by that. I don't get that. I find that immensely interesting. I want to know about those other people's cultures. I want to know what kind of things they're into, what kind of food they eat. I like the differences, everything. And then you become friends with that person, and then you make fun of the differences and break each other's balls up over it. You don't tap dance around the issues. It's just so it's bugging the hell out of me. And it's like the protests, and then the people who see this as an opportunity and riot. Like the people who are rioting and breaking stores should be arrested, thrown in jail. And it's not just like it's not a one side or the other issues. All these different people with different agendas trying to use this opportunity for their own good. I think that's a human being problem. I think that's anything you see in history, people have done that. It's like people should be able to protest over police brutality. They should be able to do that. And when people complain of them stopping cars and stuff like that and inconveniencing somebody else's day, that's the point of the protest. You have to make things a little uncomfortable. Not as uncomfortable as burning down churches and buildings and stuff like that. That's criminal activity. But ignoring like traffic laws and stuff like that, going on the highway, linking arms and stuff like that, and say because that is representing the what word did I, man, I wish I was smarter. The they're influencing other people's lives. They're making it like a hindrance, and that's what that whole thing is representing, because they have been God, wish I could think of the right word. They've been stopped at parts of their life. They've been undermined, and they've had other people influence their lives. So that's what that is represent. I can't think of the right word. I'm going to think about it after I stop this podcast. But you can't just dismiss them because of the riots. People are rioting. Like, those people are idiots. That's like saying all cops are evil pieces of garbage. No, they're not. And like all those people, like if you watch the protests and then riots break out, you don't instantly go to all those protesters or thugs or whatever. The people who are rioting and destroying property, those people are thugs, because that's criminal activity. But the protests, good for you if you want to lock arms and stand in front of traffic. Like, that's what you should be able to do. You should be able to, man, what's that word? I'm getting caught up on the word. Hinder, no, I can't think of it right now. Jesus, Chase. Be smarter. But when you're influencing people's lives like that, I think those people should have a right to halt your life for a second, to make it inconvenient. Inconvenient. I think that's the word. Because they've been inconvenienced so much in their lives that because otherwise you're not going to know, you're not going to fully understand. You can ignore it that way. It's just like when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, I can see both sides of it. People are like, hey, I'm watching sports here. I'm trying, this is a getaway. This is me getting away from the reality of the world. And I don't want real life things to remind me right now. I want to zone out. But then how do you get someone's attention who only watches sports? So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, there's no right time to protest. You protest whenever you can. And then, because if that was Tom Brady kneeling, if that was Russell Wilson, kneeling, he would still be playing football. But because he did it when he was on the bench, they just got rid of him. And it's like, hey, this is a lot of. But what's funny, not funny. I use that word in places I shouldn't. But what's interesting is when they got rid of him, Colin Kaepernick, they kind of made it a bigger deal, because then you're giving them fuel. So I think if those people were really racists, they would have just like, look, man, if we do this, if they're really calculating racists that run everything, they would say, hey, let's keep him on. Let's, give him a starting job and then have him not do so well, because he was not doing well, and then that's when he became a backup. So let's put him out there. And then our fans aren't going to want to see him because he's making our team suck. They're going to ask for us to get rid of him. If there was an all-evil white group, that's exactly how, if you're watching a movie and there's an evil white villain, that's exactly what he would do. He wouldn't just throw him to the side, because that's going to get more attention. That's going to get more people stirred up and upset. So it's real interesting how people can, see certain things, like they can see the exact same thing. Like, something can happen, and with 10 people see it, and you get eyewitness testimony, and you get 4 or 5 different stories completely. Like, you see these videos, and it's a person beating up a cop or hitting a cop, and then you see the first part of the video and the cop just came up to that person and pushed him, and then you see other videos of reverse of a cop beating somebody, and then you see the first part of the video of that, and then that guy who was on the ground is throwing bricks at him. So it's real interesting seeing all these people. They have an idea, and then they take a piece of video or information that supports what they believe, and they just go with it and go with it and go with it and go with it. And it's like we don't have we have a racial issue in this country, just like the world does. I remember hearing a story about, I'm into stand-up comedy, and Trevor Noah was talking about his life growing up in Africa. And now he was a mixed kid, and his mom couldn't hold hands with him walking down the street because people would do something or say something, because having a mixed child is like considered bad back over there. If you're not full black, they look down upon you over there. And that has nothing to do with and it was one of the instances where I'm just like, I knew we didn't start, there was some I should probably finish that story. But yeah, he couldn't walk hand in hand with his mother because he was a mixed child. And I believe his mother was black and his dad was white, I believe. And but his black mom couldn't hold his hand. And so and that's not in America. It's race is beyond what is beyond our country. It started since the beginning of time, I believe. And it's our job, every citizen's job to do what they can and to just not treat other people like shit because they're different. And it goes with my argument, like being different is better. Being different is, I never understood why kids want to be the same as everybody else. Like, embrace your differences. Like, you want to look if you see 100 people that look and talk exactly the same, it annoys me. When I see a group of my white friends saying dude and bro all the time, it makes me sick to my stomach to where I don't want to say that word anymore. Like, what do? You're just all carbon copies of one another? And all my black friends, when they say certain words that I can't say, and I don't even care that I can't say it, I don't want to say it, but when they say the same word over and over and over, I hear white people go, dude, 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 hey, dude, 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 dude. And I hear that same thing. I'm like, I don't want to be around this right now. Stop saying the same thing over and over because somebody else says it over and over. It's like they're not being, I don't know, like when you get into a group, you become like that group. And that's always annoyed the hell out of me. It's like, be your own person. But I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making sense or anything like that. But I see a lot of this racism, and it's pissing me off because people see other people who are different and get mad and don't like that. And I never understood that. And then people are weaponizing this against white people, and I just randomly happen to be white. I didn't do anything to be white. And now white people are bad, basically. And then that's going to get me upset. And we're like, no. I didn't do any of this shit. And just because a cop is white, like he's a terrible, like it goes off on these extremes. And I know it's a really small percentage of people, but that's like all you see in the media, really. And it's just, maybe I shouldn't be watching the media, the news, but it just really upset me. Like, you don't have to, and all these people putting things on social media, the fakest part of our society is social media, and people putting all of these hashtags on social media. That doesn't do anything. Posting a picture of like an all black thing doesn't do anything for our society. That just makes you feel better. That just makes you feel like you're a part when you're not doing anything. Go out. How many social media posts do you think you're going to see from all those people? All those like booty Instagram people? When it comes time to vote and get these racist people out of here. Get the people who want change in there. Get these young progressive thinkers into office. How many selfies are you going to by November, because it's not going to be that big of an issue by then. It just really pisses me off. Like, if you stop posting all this stuff to get attention and likes, just go out and do good things. It's what was it? Chuck Liddell. He was caught on the news footage, on the news, breaking up, stopping some rioters and stuff like that. A actual Batman, a human being, a mixed martial arts expert, going out there and imagine if you're looting and rioting, and you're breaking windows, and you're like, yeah, Carl, F this society, F this place, anarchy, woo! Then you see Chuck Liddell behind you, and it's like your whole body goes cold, and then you're also hot for some reason. You feel like you're sweating, and Chuck Liddell's like, give me the brick. And the local news just randomly saw him. Then John Jones was seen asking for people's spray cans and taking spray cans away from these kids. And people are saying, oh, look, John Jones is helping out too, blah, blah, blah. John Jones had his own film crew go film him doing all of these nice things. Those were his friends and people. Was John Jones holding the camera, videotaping his friends doing good things? No, he wasn't. It was all John Jones to give. So people are using this. People of all nationalities and everybody is using this to benefit themselves in a lot of ways. It's insane. It's really insane the way people, like, their mentality. They can't do something good unless they're filming it. Unless they're getting posts and likes. It's a little infuriating, but I get it. You want attention, you want acceptance, but it's been 20 minutes and I haven't talked about video games or sports. Ugh, there's my 20-minute rant. I'm going to try to... Good news. The NBA might come back. 22 teams. They're going to have like a play-in tournament. It's not really fleshed out yet. They're voting for it. Who knows? I think they should just play the remainder of the games in the season and then play it. But they've always wanted some kind of tournament, maybe soccer-style thing. The only tournament I want to see in the NBA is the playoff tournament at the end of the season. Okay? I like change in society. I don't like change in my sports. As far as the way it's all structured. You have divisions, and then those divisions are part of conferences, and those two conferences are part of the NBA in whole. Can we go to that? I don't want to see the top 16 teams and the top... No, I want Eastern Conference teams that play each other more throughout the season to play each other in the playoffs, not like each other, have rivalries, and then we get to see we get to see the best basketball players in the world go at each other and not like each other as far as basketball-wise goes. I want them to hate it on a basketball court. I want them to hate each other. And then they can go out and be on as many banana boats and cruises and all that stuff they want. But while they're playing together, I want them to go at each other. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they are going to play these games. And then home court advantage. If you really want to get into it, home court advantage isn't a thing. Because they're all going to be played in Disneyland and the Orlando Magic. Can you imagine if the Orlando Magic were good? Oh. And then fans. Let's get some fans in there. Spread them apart. It's going to be real. It's going to be like watching a Sacramento Kings game anyway. All those fans were separated. There was tons of space in there. And then how much are those tickets? Are those tickets going to be more expensive to cover the cost? Hey, rich people, let's use the rich people. All the rich people that are sitting in their Malibu homes talking about stay at home and singing songs, we are the people. Make them pay $8 million for those tickets. So us common folk can see basketball again. And can we just get back? Can we just go back? I just need basketball in my life. All the other sports, don't really care about. Jokingly. And then football seems like the best sport. You have all these paddings and face masks and stuff like that. They're not going to. They have so much protective gear on. Just put a little cloth around the helmet, around the face mask, and you're good. People are going to hang out and be together anyway, regardless of what these sports do. Like if you go to a game, you're accepting the chance you're going to catch something regardless. Regardless. So can we just get back to throw everybody inside the Staples Center? I want to see LeBron James throw an alley-oop to Anthony Davis again. Ugh. Remember when it was simple and we were arguing about LeBron James and his game and is he the greatest and all this other stuff? Remember simpler times? Now we're talking about... But it's besides the point. I want to be selfish. I want my basketball back. I just missed watching those guys play. Jesus. Miss watching Russell Westbrook attack the rim like the rim owes him money. Oh. Anyways. And then, however, you see these certain basketball players are saying that they don't want to come back unless they have something to play for. Which I respect in a ways, because that means that they want to be in the playoffs and they want a chance to compete and all that stuff. But you get paid to play basketball. You get paid handsomely to play. And it's not just you don't play just for you. You know, like you're inspiring the other generation. That's one of the things I don't know if Michael Jordan was talking BS or not, and that's a whole other subject about people are upset about Michael Jordan told lies. Yeah, he's a human being. You haven't told a lie in your life? What are you talking about? He didn't like Isaiah Thomas. And Michael Jordan is one of the most competitive people on the planet. He can be an asshole. And guess what? He's a wholesome, good boy. Oh, he always tells the truth. No, he lies. Just like everybody else. Good Lord, like what pedestal do you hold this man up on? Just because he won championships and is good at basketball? He could be a terrible person. And then he can be a really good person to his friends or people that he likes, and then you're a dick to people you don't like. What are you talking about? Now, if he just goes up to a kid and is rude to him, then yeah, he's an asshole. But he lied about another, like, an alter, or maybe that's what he remembers. That's his truth, people. That's his truth. Remember that, like, if you believe it, it's true and all that other stuff. No, that's not. No, facts are facts. But that's besides the point. What was I talking about? NBA players, and then, but I just found it real weird that some players didn't want to play. I'm like, I thought you loved playing basketball. You should want to play. You're in your prime. You're healthy. You're not gonna die from the coronavirus. Now, if you have, who is it? Like Larry Nance Jr. has a health issue, then yeah, like I can see him not wanting to play. Like, how is this going to affect me? I don't know. And then yes, but that's the minority. That's not the majority. And like, if you feel unsafe, then yeah, you shouldn't play. But then what does that do with your contract? Because there are no guarantees in life. So it's like less than 1% of people who get this are getting sick, and that's like, what are we doing here? What? You're one of the healthiest people on the planet. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be okay. Don't go hug and kiss your grandma right after. That's pretty much it. You can still see her. Just stand away from her out of respect. Just for a week or two. And then you can go hug and kiss her all you want. Or your grandpa. I didn't mean to make it a sexist thing. But, so yeah, and then I think I talked about the NFL rule where the team would get a higher draft pick if the coach is a minority, which is real weird that they would even suggest that, because you're not getting hired because you're good for the job. You're hired because it benefits the team. And so I don't know. It's like the people who get hired because their dad owns the company. It's like you didn't really get hired on your merit. But I don't know. It is sad that the situation, there's so few black head coaches that they have to even think of this rule. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as a white person going, well, if they were better. Yeah, there's going to be people who are prejudiced. There's going to be white, and it's the same thing. It's white people feeling comfortable around other white people, friends with other white people, and they're hiring other, like, that's never made sense to me. Like, you have to go outside of your comfort zone. You have to see things from different angles, different viewpoints. And it's just, I don't know. It's a weird day where that is being, what's the word I'm looking for? Brought up as a way out. But however they can, it's just the Rooney Rule and all that stuff is very, like, the fact that we have to have a Rooney Rule, that coaches weren't even getting interviewed, just shows signs of that people aren't looking at black men as head coaches. But then some of the best head coaches are black. Like Mike Tomlin, that guy. I never wanted to play football a day in my life, and watching him on the sidelines makes me want to put a helmet and pads on. But anyways, yeah, NFL rule changes. It's really, really interesting. And then I thought of a funny, or something I thought was interesting. If they're going to have that, since black people aren't being hired as head coaches, well, then what about the NBA? Because I don't see a lot of white players out there. American-born white players. I don't see a lot of them. And granted, it's because they're not as good, and I understand that. But that's not going to be funny for my joke. So anytime, and there have been people who've joked around and said, well, since white people aren't as good at basketball, they should get an extra point. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Because that's not, if you shoot a 15-footer and you're white, you get an extra point. That's not fair. But if they dunk, they should definitely get an extra point. Because that never happens. You want to talk about low percentages of black head coaches, that's even a lower percentage. In American, you have to be American. I don't want to see no 7-foot-tall European guy come over here and dunk and be like, extra point. You have to be here, and you have to be under 6'4". Yeah. Imagine the Lakers would love that rule with Alex Caruso. But that was the funny, inappropriate thing that I thought of. So let's pivot into video games. Assassin's Creed Origins, still kind of playing that game. My girl now wants to play Sea of Thieves. So we've been playing that, and it's been infuriating still. She sits there on the deck while I have to sail the boat. I have to worry about everything else, and she just sits there and looks at the pretty clouds and the water. And then I decided to have her sail the boat by herself, play by herself and sail the boat. And she could not do any of it. And she got mad because she didn't know how to navigate the seas. And then I was like, yeah, do you know what it's like to having another person on the boat and having to do all of that by yourself while someone is just staring at all the pretty little objects? And I did that as a point, and hopefully she got it. And now she helps me raise and lower the sails and angle them and all that stuff when we play. But Assassin's Creed Origins is good. I think I talked about this. The tombs. I talked about things that I didn't like about the game, but I should talk about what I do like about it. The tombs, when you're in the tombs, like you go inside a pyramid and you go down these tunnels and stuff, and it feels really good. And there's cobwebs on the wall, and then when you walk by with your torch, the cobwebs like disappear and dissipate. Really, really cool. I like that. But then when you have a torch in your hand, you're still able to climb up these walls. So you're grabbing onto a ledge with a torch in your hand, and the torch is basically in your face. I think that if you have that torch in your hand, you shouldn't be allowed to climb. And then if you want to get on a ledge, and you also have an endless supply of torches. So you can throw a torch, and it looks really cool because it's a completely pitch dark room, and you throw a torch, and then this little ball of light travels wherever you threw that torch. But then you throw another one, and then you throw another one, that first one disappears. And you have this endless supply of torches in your bag, and I'm like, that's it. I don't understand why video games are still doing that. You should have one torch, Okay, and I get it. Maybe like the torch glitches. So maybe two. You have 2 sticks, or maybe you have wood in your bag, and then you have to like make it or create it or something. But still, in that case, you should have 1 torch, and maybe there's torches on the wall you have to take. Okay, you can light them if you want, or you can just take the torch. Say your torch breaks, or whatever, you take the torch. But then, like, you have to go up on a ledge that's like 10 feet above you. You throw the torch up there, then you can run and jump on the wall, climb up there, grab the torch again, and proceed. So I think it'd be interesting to have that. And then you can use that as puzzles too, because you only have 1 torch. It's a pitch dark room. Say there's water on the ground in certain areas, and you have to be real careful where you throw your torch, because then your torch can obviously go out and you can't see anymore. So that could be part of the whole puzzle platform, blah, 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 nerdy shit that I like. We're coming up on 35 minutes. What else do I want to get over real quick? Assassin's Creed Origins was good. I'm liking it. The devs in 2K. I guess NBA 2K20 was terrible. And which is weird because I think 18 and 19 people were praising it. I think I played 17. I got to go back and look. But they were doing really well, and then all of a sudden, it just turned out to crap. And when developers ruin games, or they rest on their laurels, and they don't keep improving or innovating, they always go back to a game. They always say, well, we're really going back to the way it was, just to get the hardcore. It's so funny how they start with the hardcore gamers. And then those hardcore gamers play the game, support them, and then those people tell all their casual friends about the game. The game becomes popular, and then the game turns into like a casual game. And then that negates or alienates all of the hardcore people, because that's not the game that they want. They're making the games for the casuals. And then so when all the casuals leave, and then the hardcore gamers leave because they don't want that game anymore, then they go back to making the same hardcore game, so it's just a cycle. It's just you make a game, people like it, you make it into something that maybe everybody wants to play, and then nobody wants to play it because the casuals aren't going to stick around because they're not your hardcore fans. And then you also pissed off the hardcore gaming community, the devoted ones, and then you lost them too. And then they always go back. They said the 2K WWE 2K dev cites No Mercy and SmackDown as influences for next game. Oh, really? The 2 games that everybody loves and still talks about 20-something years later? Oh, you're so... You know what? You're so smart. You should get paid. It's that placating crap that I was talking about earlier, and they're doing it to my people, to video game nerds. How dare they? And I also really enjoy J.R. Smith beating the crap out of that kid, destroying his car. I don't even care if that wasn't J.R. Smith's car. You're looting, destroying other people's property. You should get knocked out. I think I'm going to end on that. I think that was all the things I wanted to talk about. I saw some weird post I wanted to text my friend Ray this. It's Brazilian researchers investigating discovery of dead humpback whale in the Amazon jungle. And it's a picture of a humpback whale just in the middle of a jungle, a dead humpback whale in the middle of a jungle. And of course, I was going to make a mom joke about it. I was like, dude, what's your mom doing in the Amazon? But I don't think I did that yet. I don't think I sent it. I always have these screenshots. You ever screenshot something and you mean to send it to somebody, and then you don't, and you look back in your screenshots, and then there's all of this stuff, and you don't remember where it came from? But I think that'll be the show. We're coming up on 40 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I apologize. I'm so sorry about my rant, and I apologizing for being white and having an opinion. I am sorry. But just, hey, here's a crazy idea. I know it's lost on a lot of people. I don't care what color you are. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick. It's real simple. Treat somebody like you want to be treated. It's not hard. You don't need to post about it, I don't think. You don't need to, hey, everybody, look, I'm treating people like I should. Look at me. Like my tweets. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the podcast, like I said earlier, and I'm gonna go contemplate all of my life choices, and maybe go play some Assassin's Creed Origins. I gotta finish that game. I've been playing it for too long. Anyways, you guys have a nice Tuesday, and I will check back in with you next week. Thanks for listening.